Survival is a brutal calculation. Most creatures understand this. The cost of another's gain often falls directly upon your own hide. There is no shared victory, only competing appetites and the stark reality that what benefits one usually inconveniences another. Morality, then, is less a universal law and more a convenient tool, wielded by those who profit from its specific interpretation. Honesty, in such a landscape, is frequently mistaken for aggression, simply because it refuses to play along with the comfortable lies of others. It exposes the rot, and nothing resents exposure more than that which thrives in shadow. A field mouse, sleek and quick, once understood the world as a place of infinite, scattered opportunity. He darted between stalks of grain, snatching what he needed, a simple existence. He knew hunger, but he also knew satisfaction. One morning, a crow landed heavily near his burrow. The crow was old, feathers dull, but its eye was sharp, constantly scanning for an easy meal. The mouse, a creature of habit, had developed a routine for his foraging, a clear path he'd cleared, efficient and unburdened by unnecessary detours. Then came the serpent. Not a large one, but cunning, it scales the color of dried earth. The serpent saw the mouse's cleared path, not as an efficient route, but as a conveniently exposed hunting ground. It began to lie in wait, not directly on the path, but just off it, concealed by a cluster of thistles. The mouse, initially, noticed nothing amiss. He followed his routine, gathering his provisions. The crow, from its perch on a fence post, observed this new arrangement. It had its own territories, its own hunting strategies, but the serpent's quiet, patient ambush caught its attention. It saw a pattern: the mouse, predictable; the serpent, patient, and eventually, a meal. The crow was a pragmatist. A dead mouse was a dead mouse, regardless of who did the killing. One afternoon, as the mouse ventured out, the crow gave a single, sharp caw. It wasn't a warning, it was an interruption. The mouse froze, instincts honed by generations of predators. He darted back into his burrow, a grain of wheat still clutched in his paws. The serpent, coiled and ready, hissed, "What was that for, you black-feathered nuisance?" "My meal was moments from my grasp." The crow preened a loose feather. "Your meal?" "I saw a mouse. I see a serpent. I see a single, loud noise. That mouse will now be wary of that path. Perhaps he'll choose a different one. Perhaps he won't. But he will certainly not be caught so easily by you, not now." The crow then tilted its head. It was an untidy setup. Too obvious. "I prefer my meals to offer a fair chase, or no chase at all. Your method was an insult to the art of the hunt. And frankly, a potential waste of good meat." The serpent, frustrated, flicked its tongue. "You meddle where you are not invited. My methods are my own. The mouse was mine." The crow fixed its gaze on the serpent. The mouse was a mouse. And now, thanks to your clumsy patience, it is a mouse that has learned caution. You rely on its ignorance. I simply pointed out the obvious. An obvious trap is no trap at all. And a meal that walks directly into one is hardly worth the effort. The crow took flight, leaving the serpent to ponder the sudden, inconvenient truth of its exposed position. The mouse, having gained a moment's reprieve, understood only that the world had become just a little more complicated, and perhaps, a little less safe, for everyone involved. The crow, of course, cared nothing for safety, only for the purity of opportunity. The crow, in its dry observation, acts as the unexpected catalyst. It doesn't interfere out of malice or altruism, but because the serpent's deceitful, yet predictable, method is inefficient and, from the crow's perspective, uninteresting. The serpent's reliance on the mouse's innocence is disrupted not by a moral guardian, but by a creature that values stark reality. This mirrors how honesty, however unintentional, often exposes the fragility of systems built on lies. The comfortable deception is shattered, not by a moral judgment, but by a simple, inconvenient truth. The dishonest resent this exposure because it forces them to adapt, to work harder, or to reveal their true predatory nature. The virtue of directness, here, is merely the absence of complicity in another's deception.
Truth, like a sharp stone, rarely lands softly. It merely is, and what breaks upon it was never truly solid to begin with. Filiarium, reality, unvarnished.